Changes are in the works for Northeast Community College in Norfolk, Nebraska. They are preparing to tear down the oldest building on the campus as part of a project that will cost over $20 million. KTIV's Irvin Doman brings us the story.
The McClay building was the original building of Northeast Community College. It has been transformed over the years, being the only building. There were classrooms, there was the registration office, the admissions office, and the cafeteria, the bookstore. They were all in this building.
Since the early 1970s, the McClay building has been a centerpiece for Northeast Community College's campus here in Norfolk, Nebraska. But in a few months, demolition will begin to make way for a new building, one that will further the future of education in Northeast Nebraska.
We wanted to really help create and bring together the students that are exploring higher education.
The move to invest in the project was in part to Northeast's participation in Guided Pathways, which is centered on students who fall into one of the following categories: dual enrollment, English language learners, GED, and workforce development.
This remodel is going to allow us to add more classrooms, add new offices for faculty, and create an environment where students can learn and have the best technology so that they can learn in the classroom, virtually, or in a hybrid fashion.
Funding comes from the 2-cent capital levy that the college collects from the 20 counties in its service area. In Norfolk, Nebraska, Irvin Doman, KTIV News 4.